So if motivation is the unreliable, exciting guest, what's going to be there when it leaves? What's going to be there on the Tuesday morning when it's raining? What's going to be there after you've failed, when the fear is louder than the dream? What's going to be there when you're tired, when you're heartbroken, when the world feels heavy? That's discipline. Now, I know the word discipline has been ruined for a lot of us. We hear it, and we think of a drill sergeant screaming in our face. We think of punishment. We think of a life devoid of joy, a life of rigid schedules and misery. We think we have to become a robot. True discipline isn't about taking away your freedom. It's the only thing that earns it. Let's look at it this way. Think about the person you want to be. The artist who finishes the album. The entrepreneur who builds the business. The athlete who stands on the podium. The parent who shows up with patience. The person who is healthy, strong, and at peace. What separates that person from the one who's just dreaming? It's not talent. We've all seen incredibly talented people go nowhere. It's not intelligence. We've seen geniuses get lost in the noise. It's not even passion, because passion, that fiery emotion, it cools down when things get hard. When the alarm goes off and you hit snooze, you just had a conversation. And your present self said to your future self, yeah, you're not that important. 5 more minutes of comfort matters more than you. Discipline is simply making the choice that honors your future self, even when your present self is throwing a tantrum. And let's be real about what it actually looks like, because we have this fantasy. We think disciplined people wake up every day with a smile, eager to check off their to-do list. We think they don't feel the struggle. No. That's not discipline. That's a fantasy. Discipline is the entrepreneur who's scared to death to make that call, but makes it anyway because their vision is bigger than their fear. Discipline is the writer who stares at a blank page for an hour, feeling like a fraud, but writes one sentence anyway. And then another. And then another. Discipline is the person in the gym who doesn't want to be there. They'd rather be anywhere else. But they are there. They're doing the thing they don't want to do, to get the result they desperately want. It's not about feeling good. It's about choosing your future feeling over your current feeling. I know some of you are sitting here thinking, but you don't understand. I've tried. I've tried to be disciplined. I set the goal, I made the schedule, and 3 days later, I'm back to the same old habits. I'm just lazy. I'm just weak. You are not lazy. And you are not weak. You are simply undisciplined. And those are two very different things. Lazy is a character flaw. Undisciplined is a skill gap. You don't learn discipline by osmosis. You don't just wake up one day and have it. You build it. Like a muscle. And you don't build a muscle by going to the gym once and trying to lift the heaviest weight in the room. You start small. If you want to build discipline, you have to stop trying to change your whole life in a day. That's not discipline, that's a setup for failure. That's ego. Real discipline starts with making one promise to yourself and keeping it. Maybe it's, I will make my bed every morning. That's it. That's the discipline. You don't have to run a marathon. Just make the bed. Do that for 30 days. What you're doing isn't just making a bed. You're teaching your subconscious mind that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. You are building self-trust. And once you trust yourself with the bed, maybe you add a 5-minute walk. Then a page of reading. Then a saved dollar. Then a difficult email. Discipline is a staircase, not an elevator. You earn the right to climb to the next step by respecting the one you're on. You stop waiting for motivation to strike because you've realized you don't need it. You've become the person who acts first, and the motivation follows the action. It always has. And once you start, once you string together days, weeks, months of these small, kept promises, you build something far more valuable than a business, a body, or a skill. You build a new identity. You stop saying, I'm trying to be a writer. You say, I am a writer. Because a writer writes. It's not a feeling, it's an action. You stop saying, I'm trying to get healthy. You say, I am someone who takes care of themselves. Because the evidence is in your daily choices. And that right there, is the ultimate freedom. The freedom from the tyranny of your own whims. The freedom from starting and stopping. The freedom from the guilt and shame of unfulfilled potential. There is a version of you that exists in the future. A version that has done the work. A version that didn't give up. A version that handled their business when it was hard, when it was boring, when it was scary. That version of you isn't better than you. They aren't smarter than you. They aren't luckier than you. They are just more disciplined. They made the choices you're avoiding. They sat in the discomfort you're running from. They had the same doubts, the same fears, the same desire to stay in bed. But they chose differently. And that version of you, they're waiting. They're not waiting for you to feel ready. They're waiting for you to act ready. So let's stop waiting for the perfect moment. Let's stop waiting for the motivation to strike. Let's stop negotiating with ourselves. Starting today, let's change the conversation. When the alarm goes off, let's stop saying, "I should get up," and start saying, "Who am I? I am someone who gets up. I made a promise." When the task feels too hard, let's stop saying, "I'll do it later," and start saying, "I am someone who does hard things before easy things. My future self is counting on me." When the world throws a punch, and it will, let's stop saying, "This is why I can't," and start saying, "This is why I must. This obstacle is my workout. This setback is my setup." Discipline is not a punishment. It is the ultimate act of self-respect. It's you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, "I believe in you enough to do this. I believe in the life we're building enough to do the boring, hard work required to build it." It's you becoming the source of your own power, instead of waiting for the world to give it to you. Make the promise. Start with one thing. And keep it. Show up for yourself, not just on the days it's easy, but especially on the days it's not. Because those are the days that define you. Those are the days when the person you are meets the person you want to become. And when you finally look back after a year, 5 years, a lifetime, you won't be thanking motivation for dropping by. You'll be thanking discipline for staying.